Yo, book nerds, I'm trying a different camera angle here. We'll see how this video goes. We'll see how I like it, or we might go back to the old angle. Just switching it up. I also dyed my hair, if you didn't notice. It's a little darker than what I'm used to, but I spend a lot of time outside, and since it's summer, like, I know it'll lighten up quickly, so it probably won't stay this dark for very long. But anyway, side notes. Let's talk about Closed for the Season by Mary Downing Hahn. I have never read this author before. This book is middle grade. It's extremely short. It's like 181 pages, 182. Okay, so like it's super short. It's a novella, but it was entertaining. Is this groundbreaking? You know, as an adult reader, no, it's not. But you have to keep in mind, yeah, this is middle grade. So it's not meant for my age group, right? I think if you were like a middle schooler that wants to like get into thrillers or horror or, you know, mystery novels, this would be a great starter book for you. Or if you have kids that are interested in this kind of genre, right? Like, I think this would be a great beginner reading for the genre. As an adult reading it, I did find it to be very predictable. I predicted the ending like super quickly. Nothing really surprised me. So like for me, I didn't feel like it was much of a thriller or a mystery. But again, not meant for my age bracket, right? So I'm 30. This is meant for like 11-year-olds, guys, right? I had a couple issues with the book. Before we get into like the problems that I had with it, let me first like back up and tell you what this book's even about. So you are following Logan, who has just moved to a new town, and he's moved into a house that needs a lot of work. Like, it's kind of fallen apart. It's a fixer-upper, so his dad is like gung-ho about fixing up this place. The day that they move in, Logan meets the neighbor boy, Arthur, and Arthur tells him, like, oh, it's so cool that you guys bought this place because we didn't think anyone would move in here because, you know, what happened to the previous owner? And they're like, oh, what happened to the previous owner? And Arthur's like, oh, she was murdered, right? And nobody knows who did it. So that's like the setup of the book. You have this murder that had taken place at Logan's residence. Like, he moved into the murder house, that's what they call it. And so Arthur and Logan kind of go on this mission to try and solve this crime, right, that nobody has been able to solve. So that's the setup. The story takes place over a summer. And now we're going to get into some of the issues that I had with it. Like, I felt that the pacing of this book was off because it's super short, and I feel like it should have been fleshed out a bit because this takes place over a whole summer, and there are very few indicators of how many days have gone by. Like, it feels like when you're reading, it feels like it's only been a couple days, when in fact it's been weeks or maybe even months that have gone by. Like, it's really hard to tell how much time is passing when these two boys are trying to solve this crime. And because of the pacing issues, I feel like the character development suffers a bit. When Logan first moves into this house, and meets Arthur, he doesn't really like him. He wants to meet new friends. He wants to be popular. Like, he thinks this move is like his second chance to be cool. And Arthur, to him, doesn't seem very cool. And like, those are his impressions at the beginning of the book. And then it's like a switch flips because all of a sudden they're best friends and other people are like talking down about Arthur, and Logan's like, that's my best friend. And it's like, wait, when did this happen? Because you were talking down about him too. And so like, I feel like if the book was fleshed out a little more, we would have gotten to see how he went from not liking Arthur to thinking of him as his best friend and wanting to like defend him. Like, I just feel like that could have been done a little differently. The pacing and the character development could have been fleshed out more, and this would have made it a better book. Not to say that it was a bad book, like, don't get me wrong. Those were just a couple issues that I had with it. Overall, though, like I said, it was not a bad book. Predictable for me. I don't feel like it would be predictable for younger kids. So definitely it's an age issue, not a book issue. My students, my 7th graders, have this book as a book club option, so they can pick to read it. And last year was my first time teaching it. Obviously, I didn't know the story yet because I just read the book now, but my students really enjoyed it. I had one student who was like super excited for me to read it. He knew I hadn't yet, and he was like, you can't look up spoilers. You have to read this book. It's so good. And so it was really fun to see how into it my students got. So definitely, again, like an age issue here, not a book issue. This is geared for middle school, middle grade kids, and I think it does deliver on that front. There was a couple quotes that I enjoyed, and there was one time that like Logan is kind of like freaking out a little bit. He's kind of freaked out with everything that's going on, and I won't get like too in depth because again, it's so short. I don't want to spoil things. But anyway, there's this scene where Logan's like sneaking out of his house, and he said, I felt like a kid in a book running away from home. And I just thought that was funny because obviously he is a kid in a book running away from home. And so I think that little like nod, like that, it wasn't quite a fourth wall break, but like that little like inside joke that like, yeah, this is fiction and he's a kid running away and he feels like a kid in a book running away from home. Like, I just thought that was funny. And then also in this book, there's a dog named Bear, and I loved Bear. And I'm biased because growing up, I also had a dog named Bear. And the bear in this book, he is very smart, and I think if I remember right, they said he's a lab mix. My dog Bear was a black lab. So like, and he was very smart. And so it made me think about my own dog, and so I connected a lot with the animal companion Bear. I love dogs, guys. The dog is gonna get me every time. But towards the end of the book, even, there's a line that says, there won't ever be a dog as good as Bear. And I feel that way about my dog Bear. Like, I have a dog right now named Sancho. Love Sancho to death. But Bear, my childhood dog, like, he was the smartest dog I'd ever seen. Just, it's so hard to compare. Like, he felt like he was a human being. Like, and that's how this dog feels. Like, he has almost more character than some of the other characters in this book. But like, that, I didn't mean that to sound as harsh as it did, but I just loved the animal companion Bear in here. Anyway, like I said, this is a super easy introduction to like a mystery or thriller if you or your kids are wanting something easy to read, fast-paced, to kind of get you into that genre. I think this is a good option for you. And it takes place over a summer, so there's no reason you need to wait for like spooky season to read it, right? So like, you can definitely read it right now like I did. If you have read Closed for the season, let me know. Drop down in the comments. We can chat more there. I have started to read It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I am nearly halfway through it, so this review will be coming soon enough. That's all I have for you guys today. I hope you have a lovely week, and I will talk to you next Monday. Hit that like button and subscribe. Thanks for talking books with me.